Hey, what's going on, guys? The video I have for you guys today I believe is a really interesting concept. It's something that I've looked forward to making for a few days now, and I've started to see it suggested more and more in my comment section, so I decided to finally get a move on and make it once and for all. It's basically going to be a video outlining the 4 or 5 biggest things that I believe have changed me from an obviously not so good Fortnite player when I first started playing the game about 6 or 7 months ago, to now what I believe to be one of the top players on all of console Fortnite. I expect it to be a cool video, really informational for you guys that are trying to become great players, and let's get right into it with the first thing. Alright, the first thing I want to discuss in this video that when I really wrapped my head around when I was first starting off as a Fortnite player, probably helped me more than any other tip in this video, and that is the idea of focusing on improving building over any other aspect of Fortnite. There's been this recent kickback from the console community that's recently been stating that you don't need to be a great builder to be a top tier player. And I believe that stems from one person in particular, Nick Mercs. If you guys don't know who that is, he's probably the most popular console Fortnite streamer, and I absolutely love the guy. He's so entertaining. He had such a huge win for console Fortnite, winning that Keemstar $5,000 invitational tournament against mostly PC players. It was just huge for the reputation of the console Fortnite community, so I give him big props for that. But the really interesting thing about Nick Mercs' game is that he is undoubtedly one of the absolute top console Fortnite players in the world, but he's a very, very poor builder, especially for the standards of top players. Now, he can obviously do basic things, you know, one by one, ramping up, you know, the basic building things that decent players should know how to do. But other than that, that's really the limitations of his building. And he's still able to be this absolute top tier console player, and it's making people think, well, if Nick Mercs can do it, maybe I can be a great player without building. And Nick Mercs, let me just tell you right now, is without a doubt the exception to the rule and not the rule. Nick Mercs played Gears of War, which is a game that has very similar shooting mechanics to Fortnite, at its top tier competitive level for about 8 years. And after that, I believe followed it up with about 4 to 5 years of top tier competitive Call of Duty. So that's about 12 to 13 years of playing shooter video games at its highest competitive level. And what did that give him? Otherworldly gun skill and otherworldly positioning, which both translate to Fortnite. Now, unless you have 12 to 13 years to work on your gun skill and only your gun skill, you are never going to be Nick Mercs. The good thing about Fortnite is you don't need to have the gun skill of Nick Mercs to still be a top tier player. If you just have average gun skill but you're an incredible builder, you can still absolutely be one of the best players in the world. Because even if someone has better gun skill than you and you're shooting from 3 levels up while they're shooting from the ground, you are going to have such a huge advantage in that fight that it will offset any gun skill deficiencies that you may have. I look at myself, I feel like I have good gun skill but not incredible, but I believe my building and being able to get to high ground ability is incredible, and therefore I can be one of the top players in the world without anything near Nick Mercs' gun skill. So that is a huge tip that you guys need to learn. Go out there, practice building, watch some tutorials, because there is nothing that will improve your gameplay faster than learning how to build in Fortnite. Advice number 2 is something that a lot of you guys may not want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway because I think it's crucial to being a really great player in Fortnite. One of the most inviting things about Fortnite is that there's so many potential landing areas. I mean, there is a ridiculous amount of towns with a ridiculous amount of houses in each of them, and also plenty of other potential landing areas outside of the main towns. So it's a really fun aspect of Fortnite to land in different places, switch it up with your friends. But I'm here to tell you that one of the biggest ways I've improved as a player is picking one building in one town and landing in it every single game. I truly believe the most important part of a Fortnite game by far is the first minute or two with your initial landing into whichever area you pick. The reasoning for this is I believe this minute or two is where the Fortnite game has the absolute lowest skill gap. It doesn't matter if you're a 10 KD player and a guy's a 0.5 KD player. If he picks up a tac shotgun right before you, and now he has a tac shotgun and you only have a pickaxe, it doesn't matter what KD he has and you have, he's gonna win that fight like 99% of the time. So how do you increase this skill gap to where you can give yourself more of an advantage to stay alive right off the rip? You're going to need to master one building in one town and learn absolutely everything about it. For example, I know pretty much every ideal landing trajectory, no matter where the bus is coming from, to make me the first person with my feet on the ground. I know every weapon spawn, every chest spawn, which ones seem to be more likely to spawn than other ones. I know every entrance and exit to the building. I know pretty much the location of every window. I know the way a person's foot sounds if they're on level 1 versus how their feet sound if they're on level 2 or level 3. Therefore, I can pinpoint exactly where my enemies are in the building. These are all the things you need to know if you want to minimize your chances of dying in the first 20 or 30 seconds in a game. And I really believe if you can survive that 20 or 30 seconds and you pick a building with good loot in it, you're going to be so well set up for the rest of the game. So I know that's something people complain about a lot, dying right off the rip, getting double teamed, someone gets a gun before you. But if you pick a landing area that is specifically one building in one town and you absolutely master it, that will be minimalized as much as possible. You're still going to have some deaths right off the bat. I have it all the time, but I have minimalized it so much compared to when I went to different towns and different buildings every game. It has made such an improvement in my game. The third tip I have for you guys isn't even a gameplay one. It's basically going to be me encouraging you guys to go out and watch the top Twitch and YouTube streaming Fortnite players. I have played so many video games in my life and so many shooters. Call of Duty, Halo, Overwatch, sports games like 2K, Madden, FIFA. I don't think I've ever improved in a game by watching streamers and YouTubers as much as I have improved on Fortnite. I really believe because Fortnite is such a mental game and the whole building aspect of it means that if you watch really great players play, you will bring in a lot of the things that they do into your own gameplay, and you'll see how they deal with certain situations, and when you get into those situations in game, you'll be able to replicate the things that they're doing. And since ideally they're the top players in the world, copying what they do is a really good idea. It's like watching top players in anything, sports. If you want to get better at basketball, it's not a bad idea to watch a guy like LeBron James or Kevin Durant, because you'll be able to pick up some things that you can do to improve your own game. Now, obviously, none of us are 6'8 or 6'10 and freakishly athletic, so it's a lot easier to replicate video game players, but I really believe that watching guys like Tfue and Myth and Ninja and Hamlins have helped me improve as a player, because I'm able to learn things and improve my game even without the controller being in my hand, and that has been such an advantage to me going forward, and I definitely recommend you guys should do it as well. And you guys are on the right track by watching me. I really believe I'm one of the best console players in the world, and I believe you can learn a lot of things by watching my videos and my gameplay. So good on you guys, and let's get into the fourth thing. So the fourth piece of advice I have for you guys in this video today is the idea of being in constant movement when playing Fortnite. I don't mean yourself in real life. I don't want you like twitching around while playing the game. I mean in game. I think most people know it's a good idea to like jump and strafe in shotgun fights and peek from different areas. Those are things you pick up along the way. But what I don't think a lot of people know is that it is such a good idea to be jumping and strafing even when you're in the middle of a field where you don't feel like there's anyone within 300 or 400 meters of you. There's really not a more identifying characteristics of good players for me when I'm just looking at them from hundreds of meters away than who's jumping and who's just walking or running in a straight line. It is a tip that I believe will help you more than you will ever know. If you're running and jumping and strafing left and right and someone misses a snipe on you, yeah, you'll never know if that snipe would have hit if you were just walking in a straight line, but I don't think you'll ever be able to realize the difference that it will actually make in your ability to dodge bullets. all the time. There are times where I'll be running and jumping and strafing, and my friends will just be walking in a straight line, and it seems like they're always the ones that get sniped, or they're always the ones that get AR 2 or 3 times to the head and go down before they can reaction build, because people are gonna target what they believe to be the easy targets where they can hit the most shots. So staying in constant movement is so important. Like I said, it's something where you won't be able to like see yourself physically improving by doing it, but trust me, it is something that has made a huge difference in my gameplay. I feel like I am never the one who's sniped or jumped by an enemy team flanking from behind or sitting on the mountain, and it's something not enough people do, especially on console, and it's something that's really easy to do. You don't need gun skill or intelligence. Just whenever you're in an open field and you don't think there are enemies nearby, still jump left, jump right, strafe, run forward, veer left, veer right. It's super easy, and I believe incorporating in your game will help you more than you will ever know. So the final tip I have for you guys today is another one that isn't even gameplay related. It is a mindset you must adopt to be a top Fortnite player. And that mindset is the mindset of being scared of nobody. Me and my friends like to call it killer instinct, which is a term that's used in sports all the time. It basically means that no opponent or no situation is ever too scary for you. You're never going to wither away because you see a guy with a crazy skin, or you're never going to choose to not push because you see a really fast builder. Having a killer instinct in Fortnite means that you are going to do whatever is in your power to push any gunfights that you see. And what this will do is it will improve you so much faster than if you're a player that plays slow or camps or head glitches for 30 seconds on a staircase. It is ridiculous how much quicker you will improve than the guy who just sits the edge of the circle and waits on a 1x1 in a mountain until the circle moves and then you move to the next one. That's a play style that people adopt if they want to get wins, and there's nothing wrong with it. But a guy getting 2 kill solo wins who gets into 3 gunfights the entire game and wins them all is going to improve so much slower than the guy who goes to tilted and in the same 20 or 30 minute time span that it took for the first guy to win a game gets into 8 or 9 gunfights and maybe only wins 5 or 6 of them. Getting into gunfights is the quickest way to improve as a Fortnite player, and become a top tier Fortnite player, you need to learn how to win in every possible situation. And that's only possible if you push in every situation. It will not only get you better over time and a lot quicker than any other possible playstyle, but it also gives you the mindset that you will need to be a top Fortnite player. Because if you don't believe you're a top Fortnite player, you're never going to be a top Fortnite player. It's always why I call myself the best console Fortnite player, a top console Fortnite player, because I truly believe it and I feel that my gameplay speaks for itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought it was a really cool idea. Basically the 5 biggest things that if I could go back in time and show myself when I was a brand new Fortnite player, I believe these would have helped me more than any other tip I could have possibly conjured up or thought of. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, leave a comment, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.